tell you what happens when you refer somebody to him was a great idea. So since you all know what I do, and I think business management is pretty simple, I wanted to tell you what happens when you introduce someone to me. So first of all, just to remind you, I cover general operations. I don't do the core business of estimating what it is that you do, nor do I actually produce. So for Maggie, I generally would not plan on going in and cooking or preparing catering. However, I would go in and talk about how the back office part runs, as an example. So today we're going to talk about the process. So the first thing that happens is a referral is passed or someone calls my phone. Easy. We ask on the phone, tell me about what's going on in your business. And generally, they tell me. So something's hurting. There's some family business issues maybe. There's some accounting issues. There's some marketing. Sales are not selling. I don't know what it is, but if it has to do with that core product, I can't help. But if it has to do with the back office piece, then I say, let's meet. And this is a possible match. So then we do the first meeting. They, by then, have had a week or 10 days to think about what is going on in their business, things you might talk about over the phone. I don't hide any ideas. If they have an aging receivables problem, I'm likely to say, have you tried sending out your invoices on painful orange paper? I mean, some of these things you just give away. It's no big deal. But they realize that you've really done this. You realize you don't want to spend a ton of money doing collections, but you need to start getting creative about how it happens. So generally, if it's a family business, which I've been in a few lately, the whole family comes at one time. So sometimes we do this in the evening, 2-hour-ish meeting, and we talk about what is going on, what drove you guys to call us in here today. And we talk about all the different things that might be happening in the back office. Change orders might not be getting documented. Collections, again, it's always a big one. All sorts of things about it. They're not billing right for profitability. They don't know what the market's charging for things. It's all sorts of things that just are really bad. So they interview us. They determine if we are competent for the job and if they would like to work with us. So generally, there's 2 people that go to this first meeting, and we'll have somebody who's a little bit more technical that we think might be a fit for that market, and then we test to see if that's a fit for the personalities in the office. If they're all seeing eye to eye by the end, that's one consultant will be on that team. Then it always happens, and they're always afraid to ask. They say, how much? And we say, because I'm a business manager, you tell me. Beautiful, isn't it? So the thing is, I'm a business manager. I know they have to manage cash flow. Can I solve it all in a month? Well, sure. I can throw every resource I have and I can solve their business in a month, and then they'd be bankrupt because it costs too much. So generally, we let them decide how much, and we work out a monthly fee, and it'll stretch over 6 to 12 months for all of my clients. So all that determines is how fast it happens. All the same goals need to happen. You still need to have aging receivables collected. You still need to figure out a marketing plan that is true to who you are as a business and generally has some guerrilla tactics that if you do more direct marketing like print advertising, we make sure all of that's still flowing like normal and that we just tighten up the back office. So the budget simply determines timeline, and I have a very good argument for why there should be homework, because the truth is, it's their business. So if we're only in there for 4 hours a week, or 6 hours a week, or 2 different people are in there for 4 hours a week, it lends itself to giving a lot of homework for the people who work in that business every day. So the soul of that business remains of the owner and of the people who have worked there a long time, just as it should. Because if I come in there and do it, that accounting system is going to end up looking like Sabrina and I. And if they're given a bunch of homework, the fingerprints in there, what they call their accounts, it's going to make sense to them. And that's what should happen. That's the truth of what should happen. And then when they have to go to a bank and talk about getting money later, and they say, I don't know what that deposit account means because it's a liability. It doesn't make sense to me. Well, that needs to make sense to us. I wouldn't call it that, but we have a client that has a deposit account that's a liability. They know exactly what it is. So cash flow is managed that way. And it's just, consultants have varying rates, and Sabrina comes in for rate, and all of these things, they all bill through Fisher. So how does that work is in the contract. Okay, so contract then. Two parts of the contract in my world. First part we signed very early on. This is during that first 2-hour meeting. And all it says is, we agree that we're talking to you, and we're going to tell you stuff about our business that's confidential, and you're going to tell us things about your consultants, and I won't steal them. So that's all we're agreeing to in that first meeting is, I won't steal your consultants, and you won't tell about my trade secrets since I'm in several businesses and trade. Great. So then if you decide to actually hire Fisher, then we work out a work order. There's specific deliverables. So I have a client right now that's in the trades, and one deliverable is we're going to build a job board that sits on the wall that makes sure that it includes a column for invoicing. Because right now there's one person who is responsible for prospecting, marketing, selling, contracting, allocating the job resources, meaning the people that go out there and service the work, and billing. So the office people always say, what needs to be built? And he's like, I gotta go, I gotta move in. So we need to start getting some of that work off of him, and one way to do that that's cheap is a job board. So that way people in the office can see what they've done. So that kind of thing is in the work order, very specific deliverables. So the other thing that happens, is that we start work. So when we do something like that board, so what if on that very day, the two big clients, prospects called at one time and said, can you come out and bid this huge job today? Do you think the consultant is going to say, I'm sorry, we're doing the job board? You're busy. No, because I'm a business manager and sales drives the ship. I'm very, very clear on that. So every single day that Fisher Consultants are in a business, the owner, the key players still determine the order of the day. If the world has come crashing down, if you're getting sued today, something's happening, we're not working on the job board. We're doing the things that make it so if the back office is stopped, we fix that and continue to move forward. And the truth is that doesn't happen very often. We get mired in it as business owners, but it truly doesn't happen very often. And generally, the Fisher team that comes in really does help with this project work that helps move the whole office forward so that it can just run more efficient. And then occasionally it keeps really bad things from bogging everybody down, like if you have to help with it. So client still dictates the order of the day. It's a really important deal. I just watched it come up in clients where something big will happen, and then all of a sudden they're just relieved to be able to change the gears. So 3 minutes, beautiful, because I think we're about to. So how billing works is it runs on a monthly basis. It varies based on the day they signed the work order. So 1 month later, they get a bill from us. It will be within $100 of their goal. So if they said, I want that to be $3,000 a month, as an example, if we're trending high or trending low, we're going to tell them. 2.5, 3 weeks into the month, we're going to say, you know what, this is a 5-week month. How do you want us to treat it? Do you want us to take a week off? Do you want overage in your billing? What are your thoughts? And they'll say, no, Mom and Dad are on vacation. Why don't we just not worry about it? Great, no problem. So, and if they say, you know what, we're in the middle of this and we got to get through it, I understand it's going to be more. And in my opinion, how many vendors do that? You're running over on hours, and a bill just shows up, and you go, ugh, you know, and you just figure out how to pay it. Well, my team's paying the bills, so I don't want to create a situation like that. So it worked out real well, and it also, I can't really when I started this, it was a way for me to build in vacations, and as it's turned out, it's been a nice piece. That's how it was. So,
on the fifth, 5 months.
Yeah, so built in 4 weeks, which never actually happened. Yeah, sure.
Laura, I never knew with your business management firm about the marketing aspect. Can you talk a little bit more about what you do with marketing, because you mentioned it several times?
Yeah, so as I grew, I had to branch out and figure out resources to sort of help my business grow. And the reality of the market is I couldn't find another me to be able to be this generalist sort of person. So what we had to do was get a little strategic about it and pull in people like Sabrina who are very in-depth in one area, and that included marketing. So now we have 3 marketing people. So I've done a fair amount of marketing. Generally, I am much more experienced in sort of the guerrilla marketing. So those of you who knew me in remodeling days, it included awards and open houses and press releases and things you can do that give you a lot of meeting the end user for the buck, trade shows. And then we branched into television advertising, so I've done some of that, and campaigns to bring in co-op marketing to help pay for that. So a lot of those things. So the other thing I do is, in one client, they have 3 people who design and sell, and I work a lot with the newest one to help make sure that we are consistently doing things to put him in front of people. So it doesn't have to be very complicated, but it has to stay true to self for him, true to self for the business, and that's that. So, Jim will get to you after the meeting. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.